This is quite worrying. Let's begin. Okay, people, brace yourselves for the latest episode of Let's Ruin Free Speech, brought to you by, say, Keir Starmer's party. Apparently, they've got a master plan to treat every trans hate crime as an aggravated offence. Yes, that's right. They're here to save the day, apparently, by aggravating the offenders even more than before. I mean, move aside common sense, because this truly is the era of nonsensical solutions, isn't it? But of course, not satisfied with that, the Labour Party is swooping in to give tougher sentences for those who commit hate crimes, as they're often called, targeted against someone's sexual identity or transgender identity. Because, nothing says, let's have a civil discourse like throwing the book at someone for expressing their opinions, which I kind of guess, in some cases, could actually be a bit misguided, but it's a very slippery slope, isn't it? With possibly even more things being added, such as misgendering someone, for example, just because it offends them. I mean, we're heading into a whole world here where accidentally using the wrong pronoun could land you in the nick, couldn't it? Imagine a courtroom scene. The intense cross-examinations. Did you or did you not call him he when he should have been called they? But of course, the fun doesn't stop there, does it? The Institute of Economic Affairs reports that influential activists are already shutting down debates on self-ID and female-only spaces and single-sex sports. I mean, move over rational discussions. The era of "we don't like what you're saying" is upon us. I mean, what on earth do they want next? Microchips in our heads so they can arrest us for thinking or something like that. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? The article says that Sir Keir Starmer's party wants to treat every trans hate crime as an aggravated offence. Labour has apparently vowed to impose tougher sentences for those who commit hate crimes targeted at someone's sexual identity, transgender identity or disability. Free speech campaigners say that this could lead to prosecutions just for misgendering someone. And a report by the Institute of Economic Affairs argues debates on self-ID, female-only spaces and single-sex sports are already being shut down by influential activists. And please spend time probing people who express gender-critical views rather than yobs wreaking havoc on our streets. Tory MP, though, Nick Fletcher, said gender ideologies are on a quest to grasp and utilise social power, and are succeeding. He added, "We all need to defend society's most important values against ideological attack." Meanwhile, guidance on school gender issues will be published as soon as possible. Education Secretary Gillian Keegan told LBC it is understood separate girls and boys' loos will be protected under non-statutory guidance. A Labour source, though, said that of free speech claims, this is nonsense. Kind of, if you think about it, like the Labour Party itself. I guess they could use it as their next tagline in their manifesto. I mean, who knows? In a story, though, that comes straight from a twisted soap opera, our MPs are embarked on a valiant mission to thwart Sadiq Khan's dreaded Ulez expansion, only to be halted in their tracks by the all-powerful legal counsel, armed with the ultimate plot twist. Sorry, but it's not happening. Even though, of course, our ministers huddled in their think tanks contemplating the 1999 Greater London Authority Act, hoping, of course, it would act as a magic bullet to quash the mayor's plans. But unfortunately, though, it's kind of like trying to tame a bull with a feather duster. And as the Ulez expansion looms ever closer, kind of like the storm cloud on the horizon, brace yourselves! And of course, any cars of yours which might not be up to snuff environmentally, because they're now facing taking fees of £12.50 a day. Which, in my opinion, that is a fee that could outdo even the price of a unicorn's weekly spa treatment. I mean, how did they even actually come up with that fee in the first place? I mean, did they think that something like, oh no, £9.99 might seem like a bargain to us or something? And let's not forget the council chiefs of Kent, Surrey and Hertfordshire playing their own game of Ulez whack-a-mole, absolutely refusing to hoist the Ulez reminder signs. Because let's face it, Ulez, in my opinion, is a bit pointless with the 2030 deadline of banning all new petrol and diesel cars. I mean, the £12.50 daily fee will hit the poorest the most who cannot afford newer cars and are, of course, struggling with the cost of living crisis. But anyway, the article says that ministers wanted to block Sadiq Khan's hated Ulez expansion were told by lawyers that they didn't have the power to do it. Legal advice handed to Number 10 suggested attempts to stop the scheme would be overruled in court, and ministers thought of using part of the 1999 Greater London Authority Act, allowing them to overrule the London Mayor's plan if it was inconsistent with national policies. But lawyers said that the move would likely fail, and it comes as the expansion is due to begin in just 6 days, and cars across the entirety of London that don't meet environmental standards will be whacked with a £12.50 a day fee. But in Kent, Surrey and Hertfordshire, council chiefs are refusing to erect the Ulez reminder signs, insisting they will not endorse the London Mayor's plan. And good on them in my opinion. Tory Herts Council Chief Richard Roberts branded Ulez growth a real insult to the people who are struggling, and he told the BBC, "We don't think the Mayor consulted well on this. It's not well thought through at a time of the cost of living increase. It's really insensitive. It's taxing those who can least afford to pay individual charges." But also a row is now raging after Mr Khan's office tried to silence scientists over Ulez private correspondence between the Environmental Deputy, Shirley Rodriguez, revealed she was really disappointed over research findings. While apparently it's the Great Heat Rebellion, where millions of UK households are embracing their inner polar bears and turning their backs on warmth. Yes, that's right. Forget cosy nights by the fire, we're diving headfirst into the ice age of energy and money conservation. And that's because in a jaw-dropping survey which has unearthed a staggering truth, the cost of living crisis is casting a frosty shadow over more households than the government might want to admit, with energy bills often soaring to Everest-like heights. A whopping 85% of households are donning their money-saving capes, and nearly half of them are taking the bold stance against winter by giving their heating system a break. Not because they want to, but because they might feel like they've got no other option. It's kind of like choosing between heating and eating, isn't it? It's out of order and unacceptable in my opinion, and the government must do something about that. They've got to realise that keeping your home at Arctic temperatures is not the latest fitness trend, but instead it offers the exclusive VIP pass to worrying respiratory and cardiovascular adventures. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, who knew that avoiding heating could unlock the secret to an adrenaline-pumping game of health roulette? But there is some sort of hope on the horizon, because Ofgem is about to unveil the latest price cap in an announcement on Friday, which will hopefully be good news for us all. The article says that millions of UK households are at risk of becoming ill because they are not switching on their heating when it is cold, a watchdog has warned. A Which survey of 4,000 people found that high energy bills had led to almost 9 in 10 households, 85%, trying to cut back on their energy usage, while nearly half, 45%, said they had not turned their heating on when it was cold last winter. Health experts warn that maintaining cold temperatures in homes in winter can place people at higher risk of developing respiratory and cardiovascular diseases like asthma attacks, infections, heart disease, strokes and partridge in the pear tree maybe. Some 30% of those surveyed said they were worried about the ability to recover from illness was worse now than before the cost of living crisis begun. And the findings come as Ofgem is set to announce its latest price cap for bills from October on Friday, with forecasts predicting that it'll drop to around £1,925 per average household. And quite worryingly, one woman surveyed with an annual income of less than £15,000 told the consumer group it had a negative impact in all aspects of my life. I really struggle. We are always cold at home, but I'm too scared to put the heating on. Those apparently aged between 45 and 64 years are also more likely than any other age groups not to turn on their heating in cold weather, and which suggested this was because they are likely to have more financial responsibilities than the younger age groups, such of course as dependent children, but not the pension savings accessible by older people. More than half, 54% of customers reported wearing extra layers at home, and 4 in 10, 41%, said they were using the oven less. And a third, which of course for all the mathematicians out there is 33%, were cutting the number of baths or length of showers they took. And the good news is that Which has called for a properly targeted social tariff, with recent proposals by the Citizens' Advice urging the same based on both household income and energy usage. But going back to Ulez, the thing is though that the government surely could stop the Ulez expansion if they wanted to, because of a little while ago, if I remember rightly, Nigel Farage actually explained how. And in this video, I'll let you know what that is.